Hey. Okay, so guys, good afternoon. I hope you are enjoying your afternoon because I am. Hey, Oleku, where have you been? Okay, so guys, today is Tuesday, and today today we are shifting the idea of the game today. We are shifting the attention from entertainment to a little bit business wise kind of. So I'm having a guest who is into. She's a speaker. She's a mentor. She's a wife. She's a superwoman, a strong woman, and one of those women I respect so much. Yeah. Let me quickly invite her. Okay, so you already know my name is Khrisyarn, and it's live on Instagram. Yeah. Hello, Vera, fine girl. How are you? You too fine, I beg. You too fine. Yeah. Okay, so I think my guest is around. Is available. Okay, so I can see you, man. Yeah, I can see you. Welcome to the show. So the whole idea of the show, it's our guest. I see time we try to talk about one or two trending news and just take time. Amen. Hello.
Hi.
Welcome to the show, man.
Thank you.
It's an honor for me to have you here, seriously, because I know you're a very busy woman. Yeah, very busy. You don't even pay attention to something that is not truthful. Something so I know you to an extent. And for you to honor this one. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Thank you, man. Thank you. I love my heart for you, man.
No comment. Happy to be here. Good afternoon.
Yeah, it's been a while I saw you, even from church. You're my friends. You're taking them far because of coronavirus. I understand. So this only place I can see you, man. Welcome, man. Welcome.
Thank you.
Your husband must be a blessing. In fact, you should be happy, thanking God to have found a beautiful woman as you. Seriously.
Thank God.
A honor.
Hello,
All right, man.
good afternoon.
Yeah. Welcome, the MD CEO, the boss herself, the researcher guru. You know, I think I read your small bio. I was like, okay. And so all this while, I never knew you school in Canada. I was like, okay. And you're not going to church and informing humility. You.
Yeah.
It's all about you today, man. It's all about you. So we're going to think. So everything's going to be around you today. And at toward the end of the show, there's a show for that. We'll play a small game to end the show. All right. Just not because of play and time. Yes. It's not something to difficult. Okay, man. Let's start with you. Formally introduce because this video is going to be played everywhere, like Instagram and YouTube. Okay, so tell us who is Mrs. Omeyi Iyang. Now, forgive me for the name because I call you Mrs. Alex. That's what I call you. Seriously. Your name, I don't know your name. Seriously. So if not for this show, I don't know your name. So permit me to officially introduce yourself to us, please.
Okay, hello everybody. My name is Omeyi Iyang. I hope you got it now, Chris. So my name is Omeyi Iyang. I wear many hats, right? I'm a wife. I'm a mother. I love Jesus. I'm an author. I'm a speaker. I run my own business as well. I run a maternity retail business where we basically provide unique products for the trendy mom to be. Then personally on this handle that we are on, which is obviously my personal space, I also like help business owners step up their visual content. So more like, graphics, videos, pictures using their mobile phone and free apps. So I think that's the shortest way I can describe myself. I've tried. Anything more will sleep here. So let me leave it at
So
that.
that being said, that means it's an venue for us to even learn some things from you. Because I just realized that just that statement, I realized that you're a graphic designer as well. Like, OMG, for
Yeah,
real.
not like that title. So I won't call it a title. So I will not call myself a graphic designer. But am I good with graphic? Do I teach people? Yes.
Okay, fine. On this show, there's something I usually say that everybody has a story. You're not like this 10 years ago or 15 years ago. I wouldn't say you came from a very low background or something. I don't know. So, but I just believe that everybody's story is a lesson for someone else. You guys. So,
Yeah.
in a nutshell, just share with us. You know that song started from the bottom. Now we are here. So tell us every bit of those stories from scratch to where you are right now. To when you met your husband, to everything that happened, to where you no, no, sorry. We want to know.
You
Yes,
guys will
tell us.
sleep here. That story is too long ago.
That's why we said up close and personal. Okay, so people are learning from you. You know, so
Okay.
please tell.
Okay, so let me try to think of where to start from. Okay, let me try to start from somewhere. So I'm a
You have to start with
soldier's
somewhere.
daughter. I'm a soldier's daughter, in case let me use that to put some things into context. So
Let me
yes,
look
I
for something to
grew
cover my face. Have I ever encountered you before?
up. So I grew up in a military background, like in a military barracks most of my life, actually, because my dad was in the army. So most of my nursery, primary, everything, I went to like military schools, Navy, this one, all the. So my background started so I have a military background,
Wow.
which also a part of me, I actually have a military personality. You know, they are very meticulous. I like things how they are, things
Yes,
like that.
yes.
So that's how I grew up actually. I come from a family of four. We are four siblings. I'm third. Um, I have a brother. The rest of us are girls. What else? I was a very chubby kid. So I was a very fat child.
Oh,
I'll say
really?
that because I suffered because of that. Because I
Okay.
suffered because of that. I was a fat child who was teased both within the family and without. So
Okay.
because of that, but I wasn't so for me, I think growing up, I realized that in life, I had to respond either by, cowing down or fighting. And doesn't mean physical fights. So funny
Okay.
enough, I've actually never physically fought anybody in my entire life.
Okay.
So because of all the teasing and all that, rather than becoming the child who would cry and all that, I fought. Because I
Mm.
was just like, okay, at least if you fight, the possibility of you being totally stepped on is hard.
Okay.
So, so what I'm saying is that so obviously growing up, a lot of people thought I was snobbish, I was all that, she doesn't talk to anybody. But
Okay.
underneath all that was actually, it was low esteem. But it was like I had taken it that okay, if I'm teased inside my house, that's in the family, outside as well, because I'm fat. And you can imagine hearing you are fat as a child. I'm talking about like as a child, do like
But in my
I would
head,
say
I'm trying to think how big because right now you look like even if it's two kids, you're still looking very hot. So in my head, where's the fat coming from? I don't know.
ah, no, let me tell you how bad it was. I went for a wedding, I think last year, and I met one of my parents' friends there, and I recognized her. So I went to greet her, but she kept looking at me, and I was like, but I know you now, Mrs. So and so. And she's like, yeah, that's who I am, but who are you? And I started laughing because I couldn't believe that she didn't know me. So the minute I introduced myself, she was like, oh my goodness. oh, I thought you'd be like this by now. She now did her hand like so far, like so she could not believe. And I was like, like gosh, like
Ah,
seriously.
fear God now. Fear God now.
So, so I'm not trying to give you background when I say I was a fat child. I'm just trying to give you some perspective.
Okay.
So, so for me, I just learned that okay, I wasn't going to, allow people ever know that whatever they're saying hurts or anything. So that builds part of my personality.
Okay.
Basically, I rather cry in private than, cry in
You
front.
those kind
Yeah.
of, I'm just, you don't have to see my tears,
No,
I know,
you don't
I
need
can.
to, because I used to realize that if you cry more, that's when they'll continue. But when you act like you don't really care, they get
Mm-hmm.
bored and you stop, right?
Yeah, that's.
But because of that, I'm very anti-bullying. So
Mm,
nobody can try that with any of my children. Like, if you want to
mm.
bring out a monster, just try. No, 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 no. Because I
No,
know the
no,
impact.
no, if it's that way, if you want to bring out the military in me, bully my.
No, not military, monster. Because I know how, how hurtful words can be when
Okay.
you people are just teasing you for no reason or whatever. And even if there's a reason, at the end of the day, it's not really anybody's business.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
be
true.
kind, just be kind. And not
Yeah.
everybody can deal with it the way I dealt with it, right? Some people will actually break down, some people get depressed, some people, so I think my philosophy is just be kind, like be kind. And I don't know if there
Okay.
are any parents here as well. Be kind to, be kind to your children. Be
Hmm?
kind. That's all so I think that's the major thing I can say about my past. Um, what else? I went to Queen's College. Yes, I'm a proud Queen's College old girl. That's why I went secondary school. So yeah, that was my first taste of staying, like going to like a non-military school. Hey, every other one was military. I even went to
See,
military for a term before I moved to Queen's College, actually.
for
So
real.
yeah, so I'm a proud QC OG. I
You
What's
say
your
OG?
school?
You say
Yes,
OG?
now Queen's College old girl.
Okay. Yeah, when you say OG in our terms, original gangster.
Ah. No.
Okay.
Um,
No, no. Okay, so you moved
what
from
else?
from your secondary school to university in Canada.
Okay, so university, I actually went to Unilag for a bit. I studied biz admin for a bit for I think I almost finished my first year, I think. Trying to remember.
Okay.
Before I later
Okay.
left. So I left the country. I actually left to the US and later moved to Canada. So yes, I did my undergrad in Canada. I graduated with a degree in economics. I I
But
met
wait,
my husband before I traveled.
you study economics and you're not stingy. Why?
Please, that's a myth. It's like who say lawyers are liars. That's a lie now. We are not
No, no, no,
stingy. We don't
no,
know how to use
no, no,
money.
no. You know that some myths who there's a myth that are actually true.
No, that's why
Yeah.
they are called myths. Myths are not true, rather.
Yeah, continue. That's me joking, right?
Yeah, so what I say, I met my husband when I was 17, I think.
Right.
Yes,
That means
yes.
before
So
you
the
went
first
to
time,
university.
so before I went to university, yes, before I went to university, I met my husband. But me, I did not think it was my
Wow.
husband. I'm just telling you where we met. I don't want to ask question. But he thought I was his wife, because he told me that I was going to be his wife. And obviously, I looked at him like, "Are you joking? Like, please move from my face, please." But
Are you serious?
he happened to think that's when he saw me. But that the feeling wasn't mutual by then at all.
When you that have to get because you look like one.
Can somebody be telling me that you think I'm your, like, how can someone tell me that I'm your wife when I'm 17? Like, please move. Like, so
Continue. Let me bypass
that
some
was
things.
just where I was in that time in my life. So it's like, okay, right. So yeah, so So I think so that's the first time we met. We met in I think that was 2000 or so. Yeah. Um, what else? I left the country. I came back. um, what else? Well, so I'm trying to summarize because it's quite hard to summarize
No,
almost
no,
4 decades.
don't summarize. Like, we have a whole lot of time. Talk. Yes.
Almost I'm what will I say? Okay, so I'll give some insights to my life in university because I think those are some parts that I actually learned some lessons. So as I said, I didn't school in this country. So my bulk of my undergrad, as I said, I did in Canada, right? But I suffered. Ah,
Really, how?
so
How?
yeah, that's what I'm about to say. So when I left this country at first, I left with like that was the first time the first time I left this country, I left to university. I'd never traveled before and I just went to university straight.
Okay.
So what I'm saying is I really had no idea about the system, about how things were. Everything every information I went on was hearsay and all that. And it cost me some mistakes, right?
Okay.
Because from the kind of school I chose to the place I went to at first, as I said, I left from here to the US first. So I didn't go straight from here to Canada. I went to the US. That went
Okay.
south. When I say south, I mean, as I said, I had wrong information. I now went to select a very expensive school because I thought that, everybody says that when you come, you get a job as a student, you be able to pay your fees. Nah, nah, nah. The fees were ridiculously high, like ridiculously high. And if I knew better, there were schools that were charging half of that amount. I'm trying to give you perspective here, tell you how
Mm.
high they were. So, but I didn't know now. I just thought that, you come abroad, you get a job, not knowing that no matter what job you get as a student, it cannot pay that tuition. Like, it cannot pay it. Let's call it spade a spade. So I eventually actually had to leave that school. That was actually what made me move to Canada because I had an aunt in Canada. And she was like, oh, I should move down. Oh, Canada is more affordable, da 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 da, and
So,
she's there
before you
and all that.
before you continue, your sponsorship, was it coming from your parents or self um
Okay,
sponsorship?
so that story is quite funny. At the beginning, it was coming from my mom
Okay.
because when I left this country at first, I left as a rebel. What
Oh,
do I mean by a rebel? I mean, my dad had this. So my dad's idea was all of his children must do their undergrad in Nigeria, and afterwards, like
yeah.
masters or whatever, he'll pay,
Okay.
right? But
Okay.
I had done jump twice, and my name eventually came out in Unilag on the third list.
Oh, wow.
That's the second time I wrote jump, right? But by
Right?
then, when first list came out, my name was in the second. By second list, I was like, you know what? I'm not even doing this Unilag again. I don't want to be here again. I want to be out of the country. And of course, in my house, it was like, huh? Nobody had ever gone anywhere. I think, okay, no, okay, my younger sister maybe had gone for pilgrimage. Hey, she had gone for pilgrimage. My mom when she was younger, but I'm saying none of us had gone anywhere apart from my dad. So my dad was the only well-traveled one person at that time, right?
You just want
And so when I said
to.
it at first, yeah, I was like, "You want to travel?" I said, "Yes, I want to travel. I'm going to travel. I'm going to find out what to do." So I found out all the SAT, TOEFL lesson, as in I searched everything out. And of course, I think at first my mom did not really think. I don't think she thought it was going to click. So she just indulged me. But when it now clicks and I got admission, of course there was like excitement, like, oh my God, she got admission. But the admission came when I was already in Unilag.
Oh,
So by
okay.
then, obviously, the whole excuse that I'll give my dad to say I wanted to leave, I'm not getting admission, I want to go, was now nullified. But I was like, no, I've gone through all this. I'm going. I don't care whether I've gotten Unilag now. That now my mind, I don't want Unilag again. So
At
my
that time, Unilag was one of the best school university in
yes,
Nigeria.
now,
Yeah.
and I got business admin. Like I got where I wanted to be. So it wasn't like, you know how sometimes you get a nonsense course that you don't want. No, I had already gotten the course I wanted because at that time that's what I wanted. I wanted to study bizard. So I'd gotten it. So I didn't have any reason for this argument again. So there was nothing I could say that the guy will give consent. So
Your papa is a
so
cool
when I
guy.
left, yeah. So when I left, the guy thought I was in Unilag. Let's just put it like that. Yeah.
Okay.
So he had no idea. He just thought I was in Unilag. So obviously, how can he be paying foreign fees when he does not know, when he thought I'm in Unilag? So it was just my mom at the beginning. And as I said, because I had gone with the notion of, okay, even if my mom was able to, I think she was able to give me maybe a third or half of my tuition. I can't remember. You know, my friends, they had assured that, oh, don't worry. Oh, you get a job, you'll be able to pay it. I mean, so I went with that whole,
Friends are not nice though. They know how to lead you on.
well, it's well. So yeah, so that's what I mean when I say I suffered, because imagine that you have 1/3 of your tuition, and yeah,
Uh,
forgetting that obviously even when I don't know how it is now, but at least when you left here that time on a student visa, you're not even allowed to work. So
oh
if you
really?
even get a job, you are just allowed to maybe work on campus, and it's like the hours are ridiculous. Like there's no way, you can never blow on top students' job. You can't.
Uh,
You can't.
I get you. Right?
Yeah, so that's what I mean when I say I suffered, because
Okay,
now
so
I
uh,
later had to leave this school because I could
okay.
not afford it. And that
Oh,
was
so
how.
how were you able to skate through from US to Canada? How were you able to do the movement?
Say that again.
How were you able to move from Canada to from US to Canada? How was it? Who sent you
Now you
money?
apply. That's why I applied. And you know everything outside Nigeria is obviously a lot easier. So I just applied to schools in Canada and all that. I got admission. I walked into the embassy in New York. I got my visa. I went.
I must confess that your confidence is second to none. As in your confidence, the way you sound, the way you talk. I know when you talk, I'm trying to place image in my head. Yeah. So, and I can see that trait in the life of your first son. That guy is so good. He's so confident and full of himself. I love it. It's coming now. I begin to speak. All right. Official your daily. Thank you very much. My fans from radio. Okay. So now you graduated. Why did you stay there? Why did you come back?
Why didn't I stay there? Okay, so I was one of those strange people, right? I always knew I was going to come back. And I was always in Nigeria every summer. That's how bad it was. So my school used to finish in April for the whole summer holiday. Like our summer holiday was so long. We end school like middle of April and we don't resume till like middle of September. I'm in Lagos
Wow.
late end of April. And I'm not leaving Lagos till like first week of September. So I always knew that I was going to come back. So as I said, I was here every summer, like every single summer in between school. Always. I always wanted to be back. So
So
coming back was not. Say
tell us
again?
the drama between your dad when he later realized that you're not really lad. How was he like?
Ha! There was fire.
So I trying to imagine a military African father.
That was actually so all this while they had just said that I was a Unilag, and I can't remember the story they even told the guy. I don't know what they told. They said something about I was feeling sad, that I was feeling sad, so I don't want to come home. So they can't get stories. Eventually, I think my dad had threatened that, okay, he was going to send soldiers to Unilag, and wherever I am, they'll fish me out.
Serious?
So
Ah,
I remember being like summoned back. I had to like find the closest tickets to come back. And that's how I came back. So I came like after a semester or something. And I don't even think they had even told him till I got back. So the guy still thought I was in Unilag. Because when I came at first, and the guy kept saying, so you're in Unilag. And in my head, I was like,
ah,
so
you
I
don't, you
can't
don't
remember
play
how
tennis.
the later figured it out, but it was a while because after that first time I came back, I still left. He still did not know I was going back to America.
I know, although then we've not gone to the level of social media where you snap picture and all those paparazzi,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
So someone would
So
have told him that you
yeah.
did and
So
everything get Canada in school. You not know. You know that some amebo that I would say, I'm your staff, it's start picture because you
no, but you know that okay, so when I was in Canada, that was just when Facebook was becoming even like Facebook was becoming a thing. And I remember that time I didn't want to join Facebook because I was so angry. Because you remember when Facebook came out at first, Facebook was just for Harvard students. Then later,
yeah.
yeah, then later, it was for others like university students in the US. Then obviously after university students in the US, it was now US and Canada because we all had to log into Facebook with our official university email account,
Okay. But you
right?
went to Trent, right? Trent.
Yes.
Okay.
So even till now,
Continue.
my Facebook account is that's my university account that I use. That's what I used to open it. So by then, nobody could tell your parents anything now because they were not there. We were like, it was like a mini cult by then. Hello, Sally. Hi.
Oh, you know her?
Yes, we were in the same
That, that,
church as teenagers.
one of my sponsors.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you see, what is
Wow.
small word?
Yeah. So,
Okay.
what was I saying? I've lost my train of thought.
Yeah, Facebook. You hated it and one
Yeah,
another,
so
another.
I'm saying there was nobody could report anybody because by then, it was like it was still elitist. So if you were not schooling in the US or in Canada, you could not even see Facebook. So our parents could
Mm,
not join. It's not now that everybody.
and that's true. But it's all fine. It's all good. We came out and
Yeah,
we're finally happy. My daughter is a graduate. You
yeah.
know, parents, you have to brag about their children, especially they are doing well.
Yes.
Do you understand?
So I think for me, as I said, so even when I got to Canada eventually, there were actually sometimes that I actually suffered. So at least I once went to a food bank because I was hungry. I know when I told the story once here in Nigeria, people were like, at least you had food bank. I say people don't understand. This Lagos, as bad as it bad, you have one friend, one auntie that you can go to the house to eat. There,
Yeah,
nothing. So I literally went to a food bank, which is where homeless people go to, people that are hungry, they'll give you small pasta, small tomato ketchup paste, small
yeah,
rice.
yeah.
I went there once because I did not have food. But for me, I think when I was there, one thing that kept me going, I was like, look, I came 10,000 miles this country, and no matter what happens, I will
Mm,
not come out. My results must not come out anything short. Before then, all my life, I'd been an average student. So I was one of those children that there was nothing amazing about me. As I told you, I was a fast child. Then I was an average student again. I was not a whiz child. Just
Wait,
there.
you're not too brilliant, you're not dull, you're just there.
Just there. This one, she's just there. But I was like, I've come all the way here and I must have something to show for it. So to the glory
Mm,
of the Lord and to the shame of the devil and everything, yes, I did as excellent as I expected to do, and I came out with that.
okay.
So
You,
that
you,
summarizes.
you deserve some accolades, yeah? But looking at you coming out with distinction, coming out with that kind of grades and all that, you should be working in one of those biggest companies in Nigeria. Then why working for yourself?
Well, okay, so when I came back, when did I come back to this country? I came back, I think, in 2008 or something. I came back to serve first,
Or you have to
right?
serve here.
You have to serve now. It's NYC and Kilo Day. Who are you?
I was thinking after I was thinking
No, the only
after
advantage, no, the only advantage that was given to us that time was those of us who schooled abroad, they said we could either serve in Lagos or Abuja. So obviously I chose Lagos because I lived in Lagos, right? So I served in Lagos. But the funny thing was what's that thing? What they give you? That letter that you used to go and when you go to work.
January
Remember
16th.
the letter. Anyway, when you get posted somewhere, sorry, I've forgotten the name. But
I do
whatever.
do
So
this NYC because I
I
went for
got
part-time school, so I can't.
okay, so there's this letter they give you that shows
I
like the
remember.
company that you posted to that
Yeah,
you go and serve in, right?
yeah.
So mine, my that part of my life was another funny one. But when I think about it, I'm just like, God is amazing because God still knows. I think He uses my somewhat like stubbornness sometimes to help me. And it's not stubbornness because when I tell this story now,
Hmm.
you understand what I mean when I
Not
say
a
stubborn.
doggedness. You're dogged about
So
what
I
you're doing.
got, yeah. So I got posted to Skybank and
Oh,
I
okay.
knew that I never wanted to work in a bank because I already knew how bankers,
First
have.
administrator,
Sorry?
as a business administrator of an economy.
Not that. So my own was just that I already knew how bankers did not have lives in this country. We used to hear how even though your letter says 9 to 5, you are there 5 to 9. And I now said, what more a copper? Copper that they will use you as like, nah. So I went to Skybank and made them reject me, which was really
Why?
difficult.
How?
I
Why?
can't even remember
How?
what I told them. But I think I went there and I'm like, I'm so sorry. I had to go there. So the good thing about me also is because I was always coming home every summer, I knew how
Mm-hmm.
to yab, pidgin, anything. So if you see me, even if you see me the next day after I land this country, you know that I've not been in this country since. I don't have time. No for me. So when I went there, because
Someone said, sorry,
I
someone said this
went
woman they
there.
give me inspiration.
No. Oh,
I
thank
give me
you.
something.
When I went there, and I went to beg. I said, "Good afternoon, ma. Please don't be angry. I think I don't even know what I even spoke. I said, please, I just got another job in another place. I just spoke, and I know in their head they're like, but this person has, you know, I don't know what they. I can't remember. Okay, at least they show what you studied. I don't think they show your grades or anything. So at least they knew I studied in Canada from my stuff. When you saw
Okay.
the house, like, who is this Raz guy? My dad said, you don't know. I do whatever I have to do to get out. So if you think I'm Raz, it's fine. It's fine. So that's how I got Skybank to reject me.
Okay.
Because in my head, I had a company I wanted to work for. And I don't even know why I wanted to work for that company. I will explain as I proceed because I will still be posted to yet another company, which was more difficult to get rejected. So after Skybank, I got I got posted to Mobile.
You should be happy about it,
Yeah.
right?
See the way you're even shouting, even in 2020. Picture, picture that shout in 2009 or 2008. 2008. Hey. So I was like, hey, you got Mobile. Oh my God. And in my head, I'm like, I don't want to work for Mobile.
Oh, this is not what I wanted. I mean,
So there was this company that I wanted to work for. I had been looking at their stuff like through the newspaper, anywhere, and I was like, this is the company I want to work for. I don't know anybody there. I don't know anything. I didn't have a really strong reason, but I was like, this is where I want to work. So luckily, I said it so much that one of my friends later found somebody that works in the company, and well, they sent my CV there, and they called me for an interview. I would later find out that to work in this company, you had to go through 5 interviews. when I got to, so when I now saw Mobile, by the time I got Mobile, I had only done 2 interviews at this company that I really wanted to work for.
Okay.
But I went to Mobile. When I saw the letter, I was like, I don't want to work for Mobile. When I asked around, they're like, oh, you cannot just go there and just say you don't want to work. Like, they're Mobile, they are strict, they'll be upset, they'll be this, they'll be that, they can ruin things. I was like, wow, okay. So I looked around again, and luckily for me, I had a friend who was, high up in Mobile. And because he was my friend, I went to beg him to please try and beg the people in charge that please, I need to get rejected by Mobile. And of course, when I told him that, he was, what? He's
Even
like,
me too.
what?
I'm waiting for the poster of this story because I'm like mobile.
Yeah. And he was like, what? And I said, no. So the thing about, so I now told him, I said, look, I have this job. I had not gotten the job, but listen, I said that the job had 5 interviews. I'd only done 2. And I said, I've gotten this job in this
Like your
place, and I
confidence.
really want to work there. And that particular job, they are not hiring me as a copper, that they are going to hire me as a staff. And that he should understand that this is a great thing for my career, for my this. That's how the guy now said, okay, you know what? I will try to work it out. So you can imagine to get rejected in Mobile, it needed working out. Like it was not as straightforward
I mean,
as,
when you come in my in,
can you say that again?
and then when you enter into mobile, you are in. Like it's like a secret court. You are in.
Exactly. So it was not easy. So he had to, so he now said, okay, he now told me a particular day to come. I had to go. He now said, okay, this is what I was going to do, but I had to still go through some processes first. I went through all the processes. But I remember the day when they now got to me, and I think that particular day were over 7 coppers, and those ones were busy blushing, like, oh my God, we get to money, we get to money. And me, I was
And,
there.
and, and in your head, you're like, okay, okay. Just laugh
And
and let me go.
exactly. And when they now heard me say, oh, good afternoon, please, I'm so sorry, I can't work here. And I remember the other coppers just gasping, like, who is this? Like, what's
Again.
wrong with this girl? And of course, even this person, even though I had worked, I still use connection. This woman was still looking at me. You know, somebody is eyeing you head to toe. Who do you think you are? Me, I was like, no, ma, it's not like that, ma. I've gotten a job, ma. She said, where did you get a job? I now named the company. I said I had not gotten the job. Thank God that this is not internet era. That was not internet era. Because she would have checked.
Instead of that carrying you.
Exactly. And that was a big risk because now when I think about it, I'm like, what even gave me the confidence that I was even going to get that job?
Even me too. I don't know how.
Because I'd only done 2 interviews and I had 3 more to go.
And if you leave and God forbid you didn't get that one, you can't come back to mobile again.
I can't come back. When they've written letter, stamped, everything, submitted it, everything, I won't have been able to come back. But that's how I eventually left Mobile. And I obviously went for all the other interviews with this company. By the 4th interview, I thought I was finished. When I say finished, the woman that interviewed me was like, let me not describe how she was. Okay, let me just say like a Margaret Thatcher. Like, you know, if somebody talks to you as if you're like this, like you don't know anything. This is only 1 grain of rice inside. Hey, so interview. I remember thinking about my life, like, you know what? Say that again.
I say haircut now. You meet them every year.
So as at that time, as at the 4th interview, I'd already said, you know what, I shouldn't have rejected Mobile. I shouldn't have done this because clearly after the interview, there is no way I'm getting this job. Like the interview was so bad. Like I felt so dumb. I felt like I'd never gone to school before. Like I didn't know anything. Because the way the woman spoke and the look on her face also looks very disgusting. I can't remember whether she was Indian or something, but her face was so stern, so everything. I was like, hey, I was just like, okay, now you have really done it. But, well, I got the job because I got called for the last interview. And the final person.
What company was it? What company?
Say that again.
What company?
Chapel Hill.
Oh,
So it's an
okay.
investment bank. It's in VI, Chapel Hill, Denham.
Okay.
So, and the final interview, I now met the boss, and he was the nicest person ever. Like,
Oh, so
I'm
they
like,
put
oh,
Goliath,
it's not
so
like
they
they
put,
saw
so
the
they, I
lion
mean,
in front.
no, they put Goliath in front of you, thinking that you will be scared, not knowing that I did it. You know?
Yeah, so that's how I got that job, and it ended up being a blessing, like a major blessing in disguise. Because as I said, I wasn't retained as a copper. So even though I was a copper, I wasn't paid as a copper, so I did not get all this copper salary. So if NYC like let them not pay us that 9,000, I didn't really care.
Oh,
because
man. So
because
interesting
I was
story.
I was working for a really good company. So yeah, so that's why I worked for a bit till I had my baby. Abby, I worked till yeah. From there, I think after when I left, I gave
Sorry,
birth in
sorry,
like three
ma.
weeks.
Before you continue with this story, let's take it back a bit. Now, in my head, you've been through processes. Now, for the young people who are watching or who's gonna watch later, what do you think someone needs to learn from the story? Because to me, I saw a woman who knew what she wanted and she went all out for it. You know, there are some other ones that look so clearly, like they look so charming, but yet, no, she knew what she wanted. She was focused and disciplined. So tell us, man, what is your advice with that story? What do you have to tell young people?
Okay, so my advice in that story, first of all, will be again looking back. I now see in hindsight why I was meant to work for that company. Right.
Okay.
So it was a godsend. And even though I couldn't explain it, because as I said, mobile was big. Mobile
Yeah,
is
you
popular.
understand? Yeah.
Not so that company then was not, it wasn't a popular company, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you mention mobile now to that company now, more people will know mobile. But I
Yeah.
just had, so sometimes, we say all these things. When you grow older, you realize the Holy Spirit. But when we are younger, I'll be like, something said, So,
Mm-hmm.
at that time in my life, I was like, oh, I don't know, but there's something that just drew me to this company, and I feel like I'm meant to work here. There's something, and I just say something, and I had news everywhere where they did like a newspaper advert. I used to keep the newspaper. And I was just looking at the advert there, and I'm like, this is the company I'm going to work in. So I think
Mm-hmm.
first of all is sometimes that whole something said, it's the Holy Spirit, is your instinct. Listen to it. It doesn't always have to be popular because my case it wasn't popular. Two,
Mm-hmm.
that thing that you want, visualize it. As at that time, me, newspaper I knew, now we are obviously in the internet age, but that time it was newspapers. So I used to keep newspapers that they just, anywhere they do advert, they'll do like a page spread. I'll keep the newspaper. Anywhere I see it, I'll take that page and I'll be like, this is the company I'm going to work in.
Okay.
Obviously, I didn't know what that was then, but now, is that not what they say, that whatever you want, write it down, put the picture plain before you get it into your subconscious. That's what they tell us to do now. They say keep
Yeah.
saying
But it's
but I
something you've
didn't
been
know that's
doing
what I was
subconsciously.
doing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I didn't know that's what I was doing, but that's what I would say, like, keep it in your face, and no matter what comes that looks flashy or whatever, if that is the thing you've seen in your spirit, hold on. Like, it will come and it will happen eventually. So for me, that was my story. It was just, so that's why I said, even though I said it was stubbornness, it wasn't stubbornness in terms of, I'm trying to rebel
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
disobey anything. It was just a stubbornness to be like, you know what, this is where I feel I'm meant to work and I'm going to get it. And I did not wait till I got it before I said I got it. So I'm a Christian. I don't have any other way to describe this. When they say faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen.
Yeah.
There's no point. I cannot be thanking God for this book now because I have it. That's not faith. I see it here. It's here. But you are meant to already see it. Can you see it in your mind's eye and hold on to it and say that and keep saying it?
Yeah,
So for me,
that's true.
I think those are the lessons, you know. Now they sound like lessons. Then it was just this guy is just stubborn.
Someone needs to hear your story. Okay, someone said official Ayo Jele said you are a real man. You are so real man. I love people like you. Thank
Oh,
you.
thank you. I don't know how to be fake.
It's okay. It's okay. So now I really don't want to go to your because there's no time. Family, husband. I don't want to go there. But the question I want to ask right now is simple. When did you resign from this company to start your own personal business?
Can you say that again?
When did you resign from this company
So
to
as
start
I
doing your
said, so I came back. So that will still take me far back. So I think I relocated maybe in ah, maybe in February of 2008, I think. I got married that same year in December.
same guy?
Yeah, the same guy. Yeah, we eventually dated now. So his wish happened. So yeah, so we eventually dated. So yes, even if I was out of the country, we dated over the ocean and all that. So
Okay.
yeah, so I think he had proposed to me the maybe like December 2007 or something, or January 2008. I can't remember. Sorry, I can't remember. Forgive me. But yeah, so what I say? So I came back February.
Got married
I got married in
December.
December. When did I start working for this company? I think I started working for them maybe in oh, was it?
I know old days don't they come. I know you are forgetting things. It's
Don't
fine.
blame me, leave the job. Maybe I don't know that it's August, September. I'm trying to think. I'm
Okay.
not really sure again. But towards the end, like some months, obviously, before I got married,
Okay.
was when I started working for them. And I
Okay.
worked till I was then I don't know when I got pregnant again, but I later gave birth in June.
Okay.
I went for maternity leave and I did not come back. Because
Wow.
also that period, no, I did not just abandon them, calm down. If you go back in time, one of the major stock crashes happened in that time. There was
Okay.
I think that was it Starcoms or something. There was a major stock crash. But I remember
Yeah.
there was a share that everybody thought was going to be like the star share. And then it was the star share in reverse. Like people
Yeah.
lost millions
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I remember that year.
from that disaster. Yeah.
Yes.
So what am I saying? I used to work for an investment bank, and most of our clients, most of them had most of their assets in stocks. So
Okay.
basically, it hit our company, right? So as sad as it was, some of us had to be let go. And hello, you're already pregnant and heavy. You're already going to have to go for maternity leave. So obviously, I was part of the easy people, but our boss was amazing. So it wasn't like you were just laid off and just no. Like till today, that man, my heart blesses him, like for real. So I had an amazing boss. So when I say I had an amazing boss, I'm saying even when I left, my that company still paid my entire like antenatal, paid my entire childbirth, whatever, paid like my entire like if immunizations and whatever till my child clocked 6 months. That's what I mean when I
Wow.
say amazing, apart from the other things. Do you understand? So it wasn't like, oh, you are just let go and thrown
Yeah.
away. No.
Later. Yeah.
So it was during that period, and again because I lived abroad, right? And I once used to go to stay with one of my friends that time who had a baby, and when we used to go shopping, she was in my school. Before you say was she in my school? And no, calm down. She was way older than me.
Why you using my mind now?
I know that people not be thinking you're French. And no. This was a married woman. She was also older than me. Calm down, calm down.
I'm
But what
fine.
am I saying? When I follow her shopping, right? I used to see how shopping, like pregnant women stuff, was so much fun. Like there was so many variety, so many. I used to be like, is this how it is? So what am I saying? I was so depressed when I found myself in Lagos, pregnant, working in a, like my company, we used to dress up. Like, forget about it. Like when you enter, we are corporately dressed, but nobody needs to tell you. Nobody needs to tell us. We know we are hot.
You get yourself brain. You get yourself brain. You have to look smart.
So what am I saying? Now I was now pregnant. I remember I'll go out with money that time. I'll go out with money and I couldn't buy anything. In that I couldn't find like trendy clothes and I was like, what's going on here? Like, and I didn't believe because I was like, this is Lagos now. But the funny thing was that all the times I came back during summer, nobody was ever pregnant. None of my friends were ever pregnant. So it never occurred to me to, like, I never noticed it.
Up until you got to your time.
Yeah. You know, they say it's when you're wearing the shoe that is pinching. How they say it. So here I was in corporate Lagos, still meant to be looking hot. And imagine, obviously, I relocated with how many suitcases? I had clothes. Then pregnancy has now come to scatter everything. Try.
Yeah, that's
I'll now get
true.
I'm not like, no problem now. I'm sure I'll find clothes the way I had already seen. And there
Mm-hmm.
was none. Like, there was none. It was depressing. I was depressed. I'm not even like, not depressed like mental depression, no, just very sad.
I
Let's
understand
let's
what
let's correct that. But
you
it's true that. But that was the birth of my business. I was like, if I am this frustrated, there must be
exactly.
other working class moms to be who are this frustrated. We are going to work, so we cannot just be wearing our husband's t-shirts and boxers and chilling. We need to look good. So
You know,
that
I'm
was
clapping.
where it started.
No, I'm coming for you. You saw a problem and make provision for the problem. And that's one of the keys on how to make money. You don't say, oh,
Okay.
I'm part of the problem. No, it's the truth. Oh, there's a problem. You know there's a problem. And you are
Yeah.
adding to the problem. But you instinctively say, okay, no, let me solve the problem. In other way around, making money. I don't my heart to you. I don't my heart to you.
Yeah.
Okay,
So again, so that was where, yeah,
our time is fast, friends. Yeah. So
exactly.
summarize your because you and I are talking long, so it's not 1 hour thing. Okay, but now I discovered that you're an author. You're reading some books, like 2 books here, if I'm not mistaken. Um,
Yes.
you
I
know,
just wrote one that got released last month. I'll be this
okay,
month.
so now I understand what brought about what bettered that in every month's um stuff. But what about the
Yeah.
public speaking thing, the author? What inspired that?
Okay, so in terms of, okay, speaking is easier to talk about. So is speaking is just okay. So the way we are talking now, imagine that I have had conversations with people like this, but in private. We meet somewhere and we are chatting, and it's like, oh, really? Is this your story? Okay, I'm having something. I need one of my speakers, something like that. So it's not like me. I plan to be a speaker. Even that
So
speaker
I feel
something, maybe
like a
because
shy
I don't
person,
know.
no. I'm still like a
Say
shy
that again.
person. I feel like a shy woman who doesn't like
Yes.
public things, like
So I
okay,
don't, yeah. So I don't. So it's not something I don't put myself. But it was just so that's just how, people say, oh, come and speak here, come and encourage here. Okay, come and tell you, okay, you're not speaking. They not say you're not speaking because they know that me, I'm like, no. I say you're not speaking, just come and tell your story. So obviously it depends on the particular part of my story, that okay, so sometimes it depends on what part, sometimes you say, oh, come and speak to maybe university people or come and speak to teenagers or just talk about, when you're a teenager and you're a teenager, just share.
and before
So
you know
that's
it,
how that came about.
and before you know, you've written a book with your talk.
Well, so the author part of me, so I wrote the first book I wrote. I never even really owned that book because to me, I felt like I stumbled upon it, right?
How?
Because
How do you mean?
that book was birthed out of me speaking somewhere. So
Okay.
because I was so I had to teach like a group of women. It used to be those days before WhatsApp came to take over, BlackBerry.
Like, yeah.
Yeah. So I was meant to speak to like a group of women, and I was given a topic. Till now, I don't even know why I was given that topic because I was like, I don't know. Maybe because I studied economics, so me, I don't know. But I had to talk about like teaching children about money or finances or something like that. And that was what I thought about. So that's what I thought those group of women about. Sincerely, I didn't think I said anything amazing. Let me just be truthful with you. And this is not me being humble. I'm not joking. Which is why even that particular book, I've not owned it. Like, I don't really. You see, I pushed that book for a while. I didn't really push it again because I felt like I stumbled on it. But what am I saying? So after after speaking to these women, the feedback I got were so amazing. And things I said that I thought were just common knowledge, they didn't
Mm-hmm.
know. And I was like, okay. Also, I spoke to, these are all mothers. And if, 20, I think they're about 20 or 30, something mothers have this, same opinion. Who knows? There may be other mothers out there that don't know this. Let me put this whole lessons that I taught and like compile it into an ebook. So that's how that book came about. Yeah,
Okay.
that's how that book came about. It is
Okay.
the recent, so the recent one I just wrote. I don't know if you can see this recent one I just wrote. This one
Oh,
is called
okay.
Help Your Child Deal with Failure Before It Happens.
Yeah, I saw it. I
This
saw it.
one, yeah, this one I wrote,
Was
but
it
somehow
like
again, I didn't really write it. Why?
how?
Because this particular one, yeah, so this particular one, um, forgive me if you are not Christian here, but there's no other way to talk about this book than that way because that's how this book came about.
Okay.
So this
Translation.
particular book, last year, I just started hearing it's like strong in my spirit. Write a book helping you to help you learn about failure. The first time I
Okay.
heard it in my spirit, I literally laughed because I was like, you have to be joking. Why? Because even though I've spoken a bit about my life, but obviously it's a huge summary. But one of the major things I suffered from is I am a recovering perfectionist.
Mm.
So go and research a bit on perfectionist, melancholy personality.
I have a book here about it. Mm.
Ahem. Failing are one of the things that I struggle with.
Mm.
Because we take things so personally. If you like, it's not even because of the world, it's yourself. You like, well, I'm so hard on myself. So in my head, I'm like, this one is pot calling kettle black. Why should I be helping anybody deal with failure that me I'm still trying to deal with? Like, what's my own? Right?
Mm.
But I kept hearing it, like it became louder, louder, louder. Till later, I now raised it. I have a group I have a group of like married Christian women where we talk. We had a meeting that was last year, and I raised it and I was like, ladies, this book is in my spirit, but I don't even feel qualified to write it. Like, I don't even know why I'm having this feeling to write. Like, it makes no sense. And of course, everyone was
Mm.
like, that's the more reason why you should write it. Anyway, they all spoke, and I said, okay, thank you, I've heard. You think that I really heard, Abby? I know, yeah. Because I was like, nah. I was like, okay, no problem. But I didn't hear.
Okay.
But fast forward to like the beginning of this year, I started to hear it again. And I was hearing it like clear. You know how there are some things that you are not sure if I'm the one talking to myself or if it's, this wasn't one of
Yeah,
those ones.
I
This one was
understand.
clear. Hello, Salami. This one was clear. Like I heard. And as I negotiating, and I said, okay, God, okay, can I do something else now? Because at that time I was trying to launch like an online course that I did for like to teach business owners how to do like their photos and videos, as I said. I mentioned a bit about that earlier. So okay, can I do that first? And okay, this book, okay, I'll write it. I didn't plan on writing it, I was just buying time.
Mm.
And I now started, so each time I now started trying to write another book. And I said, okay, I've been in this pregnancy industry for what? How many years? Oh yeah, now let me write a book. Guess what? This pregnancy that normally I can sleep and talk about it. When I try to write a book on it,
You're
till
talking
tomorrow,
about it.
today, I couldn't finish that book. And each time I
Hmm.
try to type, I'll now find myself going to Google. And I'm like, what am I going to Google for what I already know? Like, I didn't get, but it's like I was blocked. And when I now try to pray that, okay, Holy Spirit, help me. I'm trying to write this book. I don't know, but my mind, I literally saw the Holy Spirit doing like, Yimu, I did not send you to write this book. Go and write the one
Ah,
I sent you to write. I'm
time,
not helping
our
you
time is
write it.
gone. Our time is
My time is up.
gone. Our
Okay.
time. We're looking for 1 hour. It's becoming so educative and very
Thank you.
interesting. But Gemma, thank you very much. I really appreciate.
My
Maybe we'll
pleasure.
have another time again. Probably we'll choose a topic and talk about it. We deliberate on it
No problem.
because you are a very. I believe to see different parts. See, that's the thing. Church sometimes we can. I don't like it. There's more to us that we don't know about. There's too many things. Like I imagine me. I'm thinking to now about you. Like really getting to know you now. Yeah, where are you from? From Delta. You didn't tell us about that.
Benue State, but my husband is from Delta.
Okay, okay. So we are still one family. Thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. God bless
My
you.
pleasure. Thanks for having me.
And now you now. I can't pay you for this now. Thank you. I appreciate it.
God bless. Thank you.